And welcome back to They Don't Tell You.
Welcome back. They don't tell you.
I'm Nikki Limo.
And Steve Green.
I'm dumb.
Oh,
You think so? Oh, really? That was
Go
good.
Colts.
Whoa, that was actually a good Steve Green,
Go
actually.
Pacers.
Love it. I play poker.
Whoa.
You like
do?
That? I don't like playing tournaments as much lately. You like that? You like that?
Uh-oh. Crypto.
Facts. All right, here we go. Check this out.
All right.
All right. So today, indeed, we are talking about relationship advice. People have relationships. People need advice. We put those two things together and we try to give relationship advice.
Make fun of your partner for the things they do. Keep them under your thumb.
Non-stop. If it's serious,
negging.
especially if it's serious.
Non-stop negging.
Non-stop necking. Non-stop negging.
They call me Negging Nikki.
I do.
Do you know after I got married, my initials are NAG?
I do. You like that? That's for the guys out there. All the guys out there are rolling. If you're a truck driver out there, I sure hope you pulled over for that one, brother.
Stupid.
All right, check this one out.
Like girls can't be truck drivers.
No, not really. It takes a lot of discipline. Okay.
I see. Yeah, we don't have that.
No, there's actually a guy who truck drives, who he like takes video and vlogs his truck driving stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like in the back seat, like playing Xbox and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, truck driving's kind of tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have a whole setup back there.
And they just like drive all day.
They just drive. That's it.
I love driving.
Well, dude, they can drive. By the way, all respect to the truck drivers out there. We have truck drivers in our audience. They can drive. Like they actually protect Americans.
Yeah.
Like the way that they drive
is super safe.
Because we drive like nuts.
Yeah.
These guys have to drive well to save lives, and they do all day. So credit to the truck drivers out there.
If I didn't fall asleep at the wheel, I could probably be a truck driver.
That's a small if, though. You could be a truck driver. Come on, don't be too much of a hater.
I gotta learn how to not fall asleep.
It's just a small thing. It's like the littlest thing, Nikki. Stop being such a hater.
It's been quite a few years. So.
All right, check this out. By the way, every time that she comes home at like 2 a.m, 3 a.m, I like wake up because I wake up every 45 minutes when she's not home.
Yeah.
And then I go to the guest room because I usually snore a lot. And if I'm snoring a lot, she goes to the guest room. And I have to see her fucking head on that pillow or else I can't sleep. It's
pretty, since we moved to Vegas, I think they just pump the casinos full of oxygen. I don't get tired at night anymore.
That's crazy.
Like I used to be such a Cinderella, but
that's crazy.
Now I don't really get tired.
What about if you go to the Orleans? Where I don't think they do as much of that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I am more tired after the Orleans. But I haven't been there in a few years.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Anyway, let's get to some relationship advice.
Check this out. So my coworker, 18 male, put me, 22 female, on a hear me out cake and posted it online.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay.
Do I take action in some way? So I didn't until this, but go ahead and tell people.
Okay, so there was a trend this is where I saw it.
Yeah.
I think it started on TikTok where it's like, okay, you put like pictures in a cake. Like there's a cake and then there's people's pictures on sticks and you have yours and like people have theirs and it's kind of like a reveal.
Yep.
And basically it's like people you would hook up with, but that's a really strange choice.
Funny.
Like, and so it's like, hear me out. I think this is why I would hook up with this person.
Funny.
And I've seen it where it's like cartoon characters. It's like,
sure.
It's like, you know,
these days that's dicey.
The guy from Moana, you know, hear me out.
Yeah. These days that's dicey because people do be printing out cartoon characters out there, just so you know.
Well, yeah.
They're printing them, the 3D printing them.
Well, that's how the cake is. And it was mostly girls that I saw doing it.
Yeah.
That were just like.
This one was an 18 male and he put this 22 female on a hear me out cake and posted it online. I work at a diner as a waitress with this kid. Let's call him John. John always seems pretty chill and busses my tables. Sometimes we chat if we are closing together, usually about school, as he started college not too long ago. And I'm almost graduated with my bachelor's administration, my BA. Ultimately, we are friendly but not friends. Last week, he said he was part of a group chat with a handful of other coworkers on Instagram and asked if I wanted to join. I said, sure, because we haven't connected with people at the diner that well, and I figured it was worth a shot. We swapped Instas. The group chat was very normal, friendly banter between coworkers. Yesterday, however, I see John post a reel of him and a couple of his buddies doing their take on a, quote, hear me out cake, which is usually a very lighthearted and funny way of saying you would get with what are typically fictional and mostly animated characters.
It's usually fictional characters.
The entire cake adhered to that concept except towards the end, when my face, a picture that he must have screenshotted from one of my posts, is stuck on the cake.
That's so weird.
I was the only real person on that cake. And John actually made a comment about how attractive I was and how he wished he could, quote, hit that.
What?
But doubts he has a chance.
That's weird, bro.
I knew you'd love this one. I feel insanely grossed out and kind of violated. I want the video taken down, but I'm not sure how or if I have the right or authority to do that. I'm ranted about this to my sister, and she told me to just take it as a compliment.
Exactly.
And be glad that someone thinks I'm pretty. It feels wrong doing that. Is this grounds for taking the issue to higher ups? I don't know if I'm comfortable working with him at the moment. Do I just take care of this myself and tell him he makes me uncomfortable and want him to take it down? Is it because it's a public video? I'm just uncertain how to move forward.
This isn't really a relationship question, but I guess it's coworker relations.
Yeah, it's relations.
Honestly, like you make it worse by trying to get it taken down. It's like, who's seeing this? Nobody knows you. It's not like something that would get you like put you in a bad light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's complimenting you, and it's not like, oh, I know she's fugly, bro,
Yep.
but like, hear me out. You know, it's honestly, I think this kid just has a crush on you.
Yep.
And he doesn't know how to say it. And he's like, he thinks about you so much that like when they're doing a cake of who they would hook up with, it's like he's just thinking about you.
Yep.
Like he thought about you enough to print your face out.
It's crazy.
On a picture. And I don't want to invalidate the OP by saying like, oh, you shouldn't feel violated or whatever. Yeah. But like, I really think it's harmless.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really think of, I think that if you try to get it taken down, it just makes things worse.
That's why I was so interested in your perspective on this, because to me, it's like almost like an attack. Like to me, it's like,
I mean, I would confront them in person about
exactly
how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But like, it's not just his video; it's a video with like his friends, and like, okay, so this random coworker that he works with is like the last part of this video. First of all, people have short attention spans. Who's even staying till the end of the video?
Yep.
But secondly, like, nobody knows you. It's not like, oh, that's a weird choice, or like, oh, that girl, like, that's crazy. It's like, it just looks like weird for him. Like, it looks weird that he put you there. Like,
exactly.
If anything, like, it looks weird that
I agree.
That doesn't fit the game.
I agree.
So, like, he looks weird. He looks like he doesn't understand the game.
Couldn't agree more.
So I don't think it makes you look bad. I don't know. I mean, like, this is a tough one because it's just a personal thing.
I know.
And so if she really feels super bothered by it, then I'm not going to say like, don't ask him to take the video down, but it just isn't. I think that her escalating it just kind of makes things worse.
Yep. Agreed.
So that's my 2 cents.
I love it.
Also, this kid has a crush on you. It's kind of sad.
100% has a crush on you. 100% wants to bone. All that stuff. Doesn't know how to bring it up.
He's 18.
He's 18. He's just silly.
He doesn't know how to express.
But he made you feel uncomfortable, and that's valid too.
Yeah, that's valid. I would confront him in person and be like, "Why did you do this? This is so weird, bro."
Exactly.
Super weird.
Exactly. Okay, next one is girlfriend's prank. 20 female was way too real for me. 22 male. Need your opinion. Yeah, oofy, and maybe a doofy. Let's find out. My girlfriend decided to text me how her, quote, religious beliefs had led her to now believe that our relationship wasn't what it was intended for her, and that she had decided to not be with me anymore because of her beliefs. I was awestruck and proceeded to let her know that in her sudden religious awakening, although fair in her eyes, is extremely unfair to me, and how if she wanted to end things, she could. She then proceeded to say things like, I absolutely do not want to lose you as a friend, to which I replied, I do not owe it to you to be your friend anymore. I suppose she couldn't muster up the courage to be the bad person and said, and say, well, I guess the prank has been too far. Too far? I was going back and forth with you for about an hour.
Oh my gosh.
All while the literal war has been going on in my head. I was absolutely devastated and so incredibly overwhelmed. And you say this was just a simple prank. This started with me mentioning how she had been quite distant lately, to which her reply was all of this bullcrap and the start of the prank. In her defense, she's a sweet girl, and I would have expected her to break up for the reasons she mentioned. In my defense, although, she definitely had been acting quite strange, and her arguments for why she wanted to break up were quite compelling. It was so real. I still cannot wrap my head around it. Now all she has to say is, babe, I was trying to spice things up. As far as I know, being as sweet as a girl as she is, she wouldn't prank me this way. She is now not at all accepting of the fact that she chickened out. And to back this up, all she has to offer is, how could you believe my prank? And now I'm having a hard time believing it was a prank.
Yeah, she's gaslighting him.
This is why I picked this one. It's a very poorly written one, but it really should be mentioned.
Yeah.
So she's working an angle on him.
Yeah.
And it really didn't work out the way that she wanted it to. Mm-hmm. And then she's called it a prank.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about it.
There's no greater example of gaslighting than
exactly
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And what else can she do at this point? So she's just like, this isn't working out the way I wanted to. He's being very emotional about it. It's a prank.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to lose him as a friend.
Yep.
As soon as he said that he wouldn't be friends with her.
Yep.
Is when she was like, oh.
I will never forget when I was in high school. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you going to support me?
Always, babe.
Thanks, babe. No, my bud and me, we were both in the same chick at the time, but I was in this chick way longer, and I had dibs on her, but then he didn't care about that. He didn't respect that. Mm. So then they get together, and then I'm supposed to just take it on the chin and be a good boy about it. And I was. But I always kept it in the back of my head that this guy screwed me over for this chick.
This isn't the way I remember the story.
Well, there's a couple angles on the story.
Okay.
My point being...
The original way I heard this was that Steve was already dating her. And that
no,
this
that's
guy
a fact.
Stole... Well,
that's
don't say you were into her and had dibs. That makes it sound like you weren't with her.
No, what I'm saying is that it was deep. Like, it was like years long that I was into her. And then I finally got to date her, and then it got taken away from me.
Don't leave that part out.
Okay, I won't take it away.
God, because that makes you sound like an a-hole.
No, check this part out, though. So then, all of a sudden, one day, they had this cockamamie idea where they decided that they had broken up. And they thought that they would bring it up to me and think that I would immediately go at her. But I was too fucking smart for that. So when they came to me and said, my buddy Steve comes to me at the time, he's like, we broke up, man. All this stuff. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry, man. That so sucks. What could we do to get you guys back together? I just immediately took the bait and immediately ran with her stupid scenario because I didn't buy it for a second.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I was one of the better actors in my class.
Yeah. You were master of the scenes.
I was master of the scenes. I knew what was going on. When people were telling me things, I knew what was going on. I knew he's full of shit when he's telling me stuff. I've known this guy at this point since like beginning of middle school.
People are really bad actors.
They're bad actors.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to work me.
Yeah.
And I just took it, like pretended to be a fucking doe-eyed idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, how can we restore the greatest relationship
of all time?
I mean? Since Eleanor Roosevelt and then the president, just like going for it. Right? And then I just pretend like everything's Gucci. And then, lo and behold, 2 days later, they're both like, hey, we were kidding. We're still together. And I'm like, oh, what? You guys really tricked me there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I'm inside her. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Bro.
That's how the story is.
Bro.
That's how the story is. You like that story?
TMI.
Should I tell the story again?
I don't like it.
There's a longer version. You want it?
I've heard a lot of versions of this story. I'm good, man.
All right. Point being.
But you did it to break up with her. And
later,
because you cheated on her.
Yeah, later, yeah.
You're a weirdo.
Thanks. But I got mine. That's
what matters. That's what matters.
That's what matters. Thank you. Bless you.
You're a weirdo.
Thank you. I know you like that story. I'll tell it to you later, too.
Okay, thanks.
All right, you bet.
Can't wait to hear it again.
All right, you better believe it. Okay, check this out. My ex and I...
Anyway, but that story, that's a betrayal. So fuck that. That's
No, exactly.
the girl, the OP of that story, the girlfriend. Yeah, that was
100%.
terrible.
She
even if it
cannot be trusted.
Even if it was a prank, which it clearly wasn't.
Clearly wasn't.
It was her feeling like
it misfired, and she just didn't want to own it.
But let's say it was shitty prank and huge betrayal.
Correct. By the way, nobody should make you feel like that during a relationship.
Ever.
Hi, I want a divorce. Just kidding. Like, what?
And here are all the reasons I want a divorce, and we're going to go back and forth for an hour.
Just kidding. Whoa, you didn't get the prank, babe?
Yeah.
Be out. Be so out. Anyway. All right, check this one out. My ex and I broke up, and his mom is asking me for a security deposit. 22 female and 20 male. My ex and I broke up 1 month ago. We were together for 3 years, had a lease together. My mother is the co-signer. This makes it tricky. For this past month, I was there every day, moving and cleaning. He left for Hawaii for 8 days and did not help clean. He only picked up his things. Total, me and my mother cleaned for 10 hours. Since I was moving into a new apartment and my ex broke up with me and left me with all the cleaning, he texted me that I could have whatever security deposit that I want when we moved, and we both paid around $850 each. Yesterday, when the lease ended, he asked for $750. I would receive $1,000. I was so upset. I said, no, I did all the cleaning already, and asking for that portion after the lease ended is quite unfair. I told him that he said I could have all the money. His mother texted me threatening if I don't pay him $500 out of the $1,750, we will get out, that we will get out, that she will charge me for all the days I spent the night over there. I lived an hour away with my own lease without a car during this. He lived with his mom, so I didn't really have any option. I also was invited by his mother, as well as charging me for her son driving her car to take me places occasionally. I honestly don't know what to do. Do I take the loss? I was there for 20 hours total with my mom and me cleaning and skip work to clean. I don't really care about the money. It's more about a lesson where you don't leave someone you love to do all the work and expect the money in return. I also asked him to clean 3 times and texted his mother that he didn't clean, so I did give them a heads up.
I just would take the money they're offering. They're letting you have $1,200 of the $1,750.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I completely agree.
That's fine.
It's just fine.
It's
just get out of there.
Just get out of there.
Get your money, get out of there. You never have to talk to them again.
They didn't have to offer that.
Right.
And you didn't have to clean.
Right.
So like just get out of there and move on.
Yeah. This reminds me like of when like you and me were like we were freshly together, and my ex within like 6 months was like, hey, I'm moving out of our old place. I wanted to like reconnect with you to offer a security deposit or whatever. And I was like, I didn't even answer.
Yeah.
I was like, keep it. I just responded, keep it.
Yeah.
KEPIT. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just get out of there.
Just get out of there. Stay out of there.
And
Don't
like you
reconnect.
got the upper hand. He's not even asking to split it.
That's
just
what I'm
asking for
saying.
$500 of it back, and there's no loss. Like she's saying, take the loss, but like if you each put in $850 or whatever it was,
Yeah.
you're getting more than $850. So like you're not taking a loss.
I completely agree.
And you know how rare it is to like actually get your deposit back, like anyway.
It never happens.
It like never happens. So like just take the W.
Hey, freaking men. Listen to my wife. She knows her stuff.
I know my
She's
stuff.
moved around a lot. She had a lot of boyfriends. A lot of them. She knows a lot about this.
Stupid.
What's so stupid about that?
You're stupid.
Did you not have a lot of boyfriends?
No. I did
Capital
not have a lot of
ALOT?
boyfriends.
You didn't have an ALOT boyfriend?
I didn't have ALOT boyfriends.
I thought you had so many boyfriends.
I had 2 that I lived with.
Here we go.
And
Here we go.
And then I married my ex-boyfriend.
I hate that part of
He
it.
used to be my boyfriend,
I hate
and
that
I
part.
married him, and now he is my husband.
Mark, cut that. That makes me look like shit. I'm her husband. All right, Mark.
Yeah, he's my ex-boyfriend
I'm her
too.
husband,
He's
Mark.
my ex-boyfriend as well.
Mark, I'm her husband, dude. Cut that shit. Makes me look like shit.
He broke up with me for like an hour.
We're with that. We're gonna take a break right now because I need to get this chick on the rails.
You're right. I did have a lot of boyfriends.
You get on track. We need to get back on track.
ALOT.
We're off track right now. We jumped
They
the
were
rails.
inside me.
Someone put a dime on the rails and we jumped the rails.
They were inside me. Yeah, you can talk about being inside somebody. I could talk about someone being inside me. How's that feel?
Feels great.
Okay, good. And on that note, we're going to go on
I
a
would
break.
like you to talk about it in detail.
When we come back, we're going to give a lot more relationship.
In detail.
Well, you're the biggest, but girth-wise,
I don't believe you there either. I don't believe you. All right, we'll be back. There is some weird controversy.
What?
About if I'm actually big or not, which is hysterical.
Why?
I don't know.
Why is there controversy?
I don't know, because I guess Gio was on a podcast and she was like, does anyone know if Steve's actually that big? Which I thought was hilarious.
Why is she talking about your dick?
I have no idea.
Gio, I will fuck you.
There you go. Yeah, get her. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, we're on a break right now, and I guess we're supposed to promo our show.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our show.
We're going to talk about a show that you took a break from to
Right.
talk about how you should listen to our show.
Technically, we're not on break. We're still working.
It's called Shit They Don't Tell You, and it's all the shit that we wish people would have told us that we had to mess up on and figure out ourselves. Now we're telling you about it.
That's it.
And sometimes we answer questions that you send in, and sometimes we judge other people's situations.
So keep listening and check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/sticky. Thank you.
And shout out to Brian Jorgensen.
And welcome back. We had a good old talking to, and now Nikki's back in line.
Talk to him.
Now Nikki's back in line, and she understands what she did wrong, and she was sorry. She says she's sorry.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for these nuts.
Imagine me thinking I got one over on you.
Look how many kitties I got.
I know you got a lot of
You're
kitties.
so jealous of me.
I am,
That's so
actually.
crazy
I
how
am.
jealous you
No,
are.
they like you more than me. It's insane.
Well, that's a good.
By the way, she wouldn't even be in this house, the mama kitty, if I didn't personally say we need to adopt her.
And you wouldn't be at this house either if it wasn't for me.
That's so dumb. I don't even know what that bit is. I love
Well, I bought this house
it. You bought
without
that.
you looking at it.
Oh, that's true. That was pretty sad.
And I was like, hey, you're coming to.
No,
I guess.
but you were so bad at buying.
I guess you're coming
No,
to.
you were so bad at it that our buddy Ray was like,
Yeah.
this house, he was going through here during the inspection. He was shitting all over the house. And then Nikki calls me on the phone and she's like, I think it's a bad house.
Well, because he was trying to get the price down and I didn't know.
You didn't know.
So I was like, damn,
You're
he
just like,
thinks it's
there's
bad.
a lot of bad things about this house.
Then.
So good. By the way, shout out Ray. We love you, Ray.
Yeah.
He listens to the show to this day, by the way. Okay, check this one out.
Okay.
My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 23 female, have been to many weddings.
Whoa, already?
Is, quote, when you know, real. Hey, everyone. Suppose this is a bit of insecurity. I'm just curious. My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 23 female, have gone to numerous weddings and / engagement parties. The bride and groom always say they knew immediately, like at the first sight or by the end of the first date. I love my boyfriend dearly, but I didn't feel that on our first date. The idea of him and I being together forever came gradually. And there was a point where I knew it was him, but not so early. He and I have talked about our future and getting married, but I think we both realized it later. I'm just being insecure, right? Would anyone know how to validate that or fact check when you know you know?
Oh my God. This person's
You're
freaking
too young
out.
and you should not get married yet. You're too
23.
fucking young. You're
just
young.
stop.
Just stop and shut up.
Just live a life first.
Thank you.
Your prefrontal cortex hasn't developed all the way yet.
And clearly on you, it was stunted.
Well, I mean, she's 23, so
She's
like
doing whippets or something.
she's got 2 more years.
Amen.
Well, she wants facts. That's the fact.
That's the
We've got
fact.
2 more years.
Amen.
Yes, for many couples, including us, like we knew at the end of our first date. But that was after other relationships.
Many bomb-ass relationships.
We
Not
just-
bomb in
we
a good
knew
way.
because of the contrast.
Correct.
We knew exactly, like, this is what's been missing my whole life because of the contrast.
Yes.
So, like, for all intents and purposes, it could be the love of your life. We don't know. There's no contrast. We have no idea. I thought that I was gonna marry an ex-boyfriend, and the closer it got to him proposing, the more my gut was screaming like, this isn't the one.
Dread.
So, like, believe your gut with that.
Yeah.
I was 23 at the time. I was turning 24, and I was about to turn 24.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I couldn't be with this guy forever. Like, it gave me like anxiety to think about. And that I'm saying, like, if you get anxiety thinking about your partner proposing to you after you've been together for 5 years, you should not stay together because there's something wrong and your gut knows, and you would be trapped in a legal thing, the legal contract, and it's expensive to get out. So I'm very happy that we broke up for virtually no reason.
But none of it, okay, so my thing about this is none of that was storybook until it got to us. Like,
Right.
all of it was just, and I told this to the internet.
I had love for him.
Right,
I thought,
all of it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm in love with my ex, blah, 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 blah. But I really didn't feel that same pull of like, we're meant to be, all that stuff.
It just felt like, well, he knows me really well. I know him really well. We get along.
We love each other.
And he understands me. I feel understood around him, which was really important to me because I felt very misunderstood my entire life. And I felt like, what if I don't find someone that understands me like he does? But as far as romance, I was no longer attracted to him. I didn't feel like any sexual chemistry at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought people were lying about liking sex. I really did, because I was very inexperienced, and I just thought like sex has never been that great.
Blows my mind.
It's just something I thought you had to do to like keep each other happy. Yeah, just like make people happy. Yeah. Like, but I really just never had good sex. So it was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like, I just don't. I didn't know that was a real thing, that there was actual good sex out there.
Yeah.
But until I banged all those dudes afterwards.
Whoa, Mark, cut that. That makes me look like shit.
They were inside me.
Mark, that makes me look like shit. Mark, please have my back for once, Mark.
Anyway, yeah. So like, when you know, sure, but also you're so young. There's so hard to tell if there's not been any contrast.
That's exactly it. Like, and look, I'm not trying to take away from anybody's romantic story. It's just about like, just play the real. Because for me, it was not real until it was. Like, it was all just like, I agree with you, like complete bullshit until I found the Nikki connection. And then it was like, holy shit.
When you think of like, you can't live without this person.
Exactly.
Like, does it feel like that? When you think of them proposing to you, does it feel like that?
Exactly.
Or does it feel like, I guess this is what we're supposed to do now?
When I think about my exes, I think about that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess this is what we're supposed to do now.
Right.
But when I think about you and the way that I wanted to marry you from minute one, and the way that like my dad and Michael Gallagher were both like, you should hold off.
Yeah.
Was like big, because like I was like, I want to marry her from minute one.
Yeah, same.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to propose. And Mike and my dad were like, maybe you should hold off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold off a little bit.
I mean, good advice.
No, it was good.
Because you were in a rebound period. You know?
I think they were being very clear-headed.
I was even hesitant to fall so hard, because I was like, well, he did just get broken up with. Like, what if I'm the rebound and I'm just like being stupid?
I'm not clowning on them. I think it's great advice.
Yeah.
I just knew in my gut that it was the move. I already knew it was in the free and clear.
Yeah.
And like, that was the first year, our tumultuous first year.
Yeah.
But I already knew. That's why, like, even during the downs of that year, I still knew I wanted to be with you.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then it's only been up from there because we got on the same page.
Yeah. 100%.
So focus less on the story and just focus on
And
your
there's
gut.
no like right way, like, oh, if I didn't know from minute one, like, then that means we're not supposed to get married.
Bullshit.
No, bro.
It's all bullshit.
You need to chill.
For real. But our story's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like, do you want chicken or steak at the wedding?
Yeah, that's
Nikki
what I texted my friend right after our first date.
On our first date.
And I hadn't given up meat at that point, so
you know what I mean?
It was chicken or steak at the wedding.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have included a vegan option.
So PC, love it. All right, check this one out.
Okay.
I, 39 male, am married to a woman, 40 female, who uses bipolar disorder as a life raft. I'm drowning, and I don't know if it's okay to want out. How do I know when it's time to end it? My wife was diagnosed with bipolar disorder about 15 years ago. I knew this going into our relationship. In September, we will celebrate a decade together as husband and wife, but I didn't expect to eventually be held emotionally hostage.
Yeah.
She's not violent. She's not mean. She's just, quote, hollow. A black hole of effort and empathy. Everything around her collapses into her helplessness, slowly, invisibly, and somehow I'm always the one stuck holding the pieces and the blame. She wakes up around noon, stays in pajamas till 4 p.m., scrolls Instagram for hours, doom scrolling, watches fantasy anime, where every female lead is a broken princess waiting for a mysterious man to understand her, writes exactly nothing despite claiming she's a poet and, quote, intellectual. The only things she finishes are fanfics and wine. Got her.
Ooh.
She hasn't held a job for more than a year in her adult life. Not because she can't, but because she doesn't want to be seen failing. So she doesn't try. She insists she's brilliant and underappreciated, but spends more time curating passive-aggressive IG stories than literally doing anything constructive. This guy hates his wife.
Yeah, I mean, she sounds like a child, to be honest.
Yeah.
I get like the contempt.
He goes on and says like, sex, forget it. It's been over a year. There's no intimacy.
Yeah, bro, it's over.
That's
you don't like
what
her.
I want to say. You don't like your wife.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, obviously.
Hey, good game though. GG.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah, good run.
Good game.
Nice run. This is a tough one. I thought it was gonna be a little tougher because I think that when
I think a lot of people are here in their relationships is why
that's not what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I was gonna say more to the mental disorder aspect of it, that it can be tough on a partner when you have, you know, clinical depression or bipolar disorder, or, you know, that they maybe not, they don't have it, so they wouldn't understand what you're going through.
Yep.
And it sucks because you're kind of dragging the ship down whenever you go through an episode.
Yep.
And I can understand the guilt with that. And then as the partner, like, is my partner just using this as like a like crutch to get me to do everything, basically?
So check this out.
But
here's the kicker. This guy says, I'm still the bad guy. This is exactly what you're saying. Every time I try to talk to her about how isolated or drained I feel, she pulls the bipolar card like it's a warrant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I disagree, because I have struggled with depression, anxiety, all that all my life. I just got late diagnosed with ADHD and autism. And so like a lot of the episodes that I would have make sense now. And that was super relieving for myself.
To know where it came from.
To know where it came from and to understand that I'm not broken, that my brain operates differently. And therefore I can avoid those situations.
So
I have like a lot of proactiveness towards avoiding an emotional breakdown or like a spiral or whatever. And I'm very conscious of it. And so it did help me a lot to understand my own brain. If I were to use that as like a crutch of like, oh, well, I can't, I'm helpless because of this. And like, you don't understand because you don't have that. I do think that's weaponizing your
that's an anathema to your
disorder. Exactly.
Because you would never.
I don't like that having my brain work differently means that I can't accomplish the things that I want to, or that I'm a like almost like I need a handicap because
you're not proud that your brain works differently. You just understand.
But I do think that after embracing the pros of it, like actually finding a career field that works in tandem with the way my brain works has been amazing.
Yep.
And I after being diagnosed, everything seemed to fall into place a lot better than it did before, because I wasn't fighting with myself in addition to obstacles in my life. Not knowing that, I felt very broken. I felt just like, what is wrong with me all the time? And now I'm like, oh, it's because I cry when the lights are too bright because I have sensory overload issues. I mean, that's just something that is like a byproduct of the disorders. And I hate the word disorder because it's just a different way of thinking than the majority. Like I'd say there's something like, it's like 25 to 30% of people have this disorder, but I think that we have it because it serves a purpose in society. Like if everyone just operated that way and you didn't have the balance of the way that these neurodivergent people operate, then like the world would be a different place. And so just working with the energy instead of against it is very helpful. I don't think that people should weaponize it. I think that it's okay to say, I need a mental health day and like take it for yourself, but like to dump the load on your partner and expect them to, you know, carry the weight of the relationship and of all your life burdens, basically. Like he sounds like the partner, the OP, is like working all the jobs and bringing all the money and like basically making it so she doesn't have to work, you know, because she doesn't want to. Yeah. I mean, that is going to build resentment in your relationship. Yeah. That's like one person is putting in the effort and the other person is giving nothing.
What I admire about the way that, cause like, you know, it was late in our relationship when you got, you know, diagnosed.
Yeah.
But I knew the whole time.
Yeah. You were like one of the catalysts for me getting tested.
Yeah. I always knew you had autism, but only because I had been around autistic people like for a long time.
I mean, I just had a different version of what that looked like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was easy for me to identify because thankfully I had been around a lot of those people and they were very forthcoming about that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it runs in my family. They're all boys.
And they're all not communicative about it either, right? So, but what I really admire about it is you were never using it as an excuse for anything, ever. You were just more using it as a connective tissue to understand yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of people really mess up, where they constantly bring it up. Like, you could even be talking to somebody you just met and they bring it up right away and you're like, come on, dude. Like, you're okay. So now what do you want me to do?
Right.
So you want me to underestimate you? Or is that what you're trying to
Exactly. It creates this like different, but I just don't like labels attached to my identity at all. Like they can be a part of who I am. Like, me being a woman is not my identity.
Exactly.
You know, I don't make that the like crux of who I am as a person. I don't make my race the crux of who I am as a person.
Yep.
I'm not saying like, I'm not telling anyone how to live their life, but personally,
It's not how you roll.
I like that I'm an individual person.
Yep.
And I just like being seen for who I am as an individual person, not for any like outside labels. So yeah, I think that when you first know that about yourself, you can maybe fall into a pitfall of like, oh, well, it's because of this and that's why, and you don't understand me. But I think it's harming you more than it's helping you in the long run.
When have you felt most understood about that stuff for you? Like, is there a moment? Is there a validating moment? Like,
no, because I still don't like bringing it up because I still feel like it's met with a stigma that's like, you don't seem like you have that.
Yeah.
And then I have to like, just like, I don't want to feel defensive. I'm like, I don't need to prove anything to anybody.
Like, you don't want, you're like, I have to take a blood test now?
Yeah, exactly. Or to show you like you know, like I just don't like having to prove something that I don't even, it has nothing to do with that person.
Yeah.
Like, whether I have it or not is not something that should affect you at all.
Right.
It, like, literally only affects me. And like my coping mechanisms with how to not have it affect you, you know, I don't want to have a meltdown in public. And so like, as soon as I feel the steps, the escalation happening towards that, I remove myself from the public.
Yes.
So yeah, like understanding myself and how my brain works helps me only. I guess understood is just like me understanding myself.
Yeah.
Because before,
was that a separation like between getting the diagnosis and like?
Yeah. Because before I had depression and anxiety, but I didn't realize they were stemming from not understanding how my brain worked.
Right.
So I would have anxiety because because of all the ADHD symptoms, right? Like that, I didn't know were ADHD. I just felt like I was not competent enough to get things done or whatever. Right. Like the thing was, it was just like
which is so crazy because you're such an attention to detail person.
Yeah, but like,
and people don't even know that you're paying attention when you. It seems like you're not, but you're paying the most attention.
Yeah, exactly.
But
because I'm multitasking. When I'm multitasking, I pay attention.
That's why JK Party people hated you because they're like, this bitch is cheating. Yeah, and like you're just like
picking up all kinds of information,
picking up puzzle pieces, and like putting them together
that are just like in the ether for me. That are just like I'm just picking it up while I'm
cheating. She must be cheating.
And anyway, so I had depression and anxiety because I felt like I couldn't get enough done. And then I would get depressed that I was broken, because I didn't understand my own brain. Yeah. So those were symptoms of me not understanding myself. Once I understood myself, those symptoms subsided by a landslide. Wouldn't you say that like I have far less depressive and anxiety episodes?
It's not even close.
Yeah, not even close. I used to have panic attacks multiple times a week. Yep. And now like
I'm on vacation.
Maybe twice a year.
It's unbelievable.
Maybe twice a year.
No, legit.
Yeah. So yeah, but the understanding, it was like mostly from like my own self being able to understand. That was like I cried for like 8 months because it was such a aha moment. Like all these different instances in my past made so much sense now, and all of this things I used to get yelled at as a child that like I couldn't fix and I felt so broken for because like I didn't have an explanation. It felt like I just couldn't get it right. Like I couldn't get it right and I didn't know how to get it right. No amount of yelling at me or practice or whatever could shake the ADHD out of me, like the autism out of me. You can't do it. Can't do it. And so like it was really upsetting to my dad, and that's why we had a strained relationship because he would yell at me a lot. But these were things that I literally couldn't help because of my brain. Yeah. And I didn't know that. Yeah. I just felt broken. Like I should be able to fix these things and I can't.
One thing I love about the way that you deal with stuff is that you truly have moved on, and you and your dad have a great relationship now, but you still get misty-eyed talking about it because you can put your brain right there. Like in a moment's notice, you can put your brain right where it was.
Because
like,
I feel bad I feel bad for me back then not knowing anything. It's like if you need prescription glasses and the world's like super fuzzy and you can't see as well as the other people, and people are like, why couldn't you see that thing right there? And all your life people are yelling at you for not being able to see certain things. And then all of a sudden in your late 30s you get glasses and you can see the world crystal clear, and you're like, God damn, no wonder I couldn't see that shit. And like, man, that I feel really bad for the little girl that got yelled at for not being able to see something she literally couldn't see. Like, absolutely, there was no way in hell, no chance in hell I could have ever fixed that as a child.
No way. But even the way that you're talking about this right now, like, I know that you love your dad, and like you're
because
good.
He's operating from what he knows. Like everyone, I just give that. I know people get strained relationships with their parents over like things in the past, but for the most part, I feel like, at least for me, my parents did the best they could at the time. So with what they knew at the time, and they were young parents too. My dad became a dad with me at 24. And when I'm thinking back at me at 24, like, I have no patience either. Like, I mean, and I didn't understand my brain either. And for what it's worth, I think he has a little bit of it too. I think he didn't understand himself, and he wanted to prevent me from making his mistakes
no question
too.
About it.
And so that's what he had to work with, was like, maybe if I yell at her enough, then like she won't become the same thing I became or whatever.
Your dad's a great man.
He is. And so when you operate from understanding people's intentions, which I think is like super important, because context matters, I can look back and understand that I think he loved me through that whole time. He wasn't doing it maliciously or like
didn't know how to do it
to emotionally abuse me. That was the only tools he had at the time. And although it did cause harm, I don't feel like he meant to.
But that's why. So like but that's so interesting, because I think probably 10 years ago, if I was watching this, I'd be like, she's crying right now. She's not over it yet. But you're putting yourself back in the shoes.
Because I feel bad for him too.
Exactly.
Because I think that we've had many talks since then, and I think he's become a much more sensitive soul.
Oh my God, he's a pussy.
And I think him understanding like that he's a much different person than he was back then. So like, I think that we all grew from that, right? And so I don't like really place blame on.
I think it's beautiful.
It is. It is.
Genuinely beautiful.
I actually cry out of like a lot of things. Like,
but people don't know that, and I just want to stick up for that, because especially if the old man's listening, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just know where it comes from. Yeah. It's a really good thing. Really, really good thing.
Recently, well, I don't know if I just talk about. Well, a couple years ago, I cried in public when he was. So him and my mom met me in Vegas, and we were in a pizza place, and I had a few drinks and I felt like it was like a misunderstanding, and I felt like I hurt somebody, like a friend, and I went to meet them afterwards, and I started crying in like the middle of the pizza place. And I try really hard not to cry in public, especially since my dad used to yell at me for crying. So I know how he feels about that. And to my shock and surprise, he started crying. And I was like, what the fuck? Because my dad, stiff upper lip, like did not cry, like would not show emotion. Like, and he started crying, and I was like, why are you crying?
I know, I've seen him cry. I've seen him cry.
You ever see like a kid cry and then like you start crying, and then they've like stopped crying, and they're just like more like, why perplexed. Why are you crying? You're not supposed to cry.
No, I've seen your old man cry.
So that's what happened in the pizza place. I was just like, wait, why are you crying? And he poured his heart out in the pizza place, and I had never, even my mom was shocked. Like, I'd never seen him like actually express himself emotionally. And
he'll do it for you.
And it was very beautiful. It was like really healing, and I got to see that softer part that he was just beginning to understand about himself. I think that's what was the most beautiful part about it, is that these emotions were new to him, or this way of expressing it was new to him, and he told us why too, like that. You know, ever since like he got basically a second shot at life and stuff. He's just heart like attack. You know, become more chilled out and like understanding, and he doesn't want to see people he loves feeling hurt. And so seeing me cry like made him feel like there was nothing he could do to stop me from being hurt. And so he felt powerless. And before, he used to yell and be angry about feeling powerless. But now he was just like basically sympathizing and like just crying with me. And I was like, wow, I like really appreciated that, to be honest. But it was a sweet moment. Yeah.
I love that. I'll never cry with you.
You're right. You're a giant crybaby.
Bullshit. I'm too strong.
Yeah.
Way too strong, brother. Tell you that.
If you were part of our Patreon, patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI, we used to do these shit they don't tell you after dark.
Oh, yeah, true.
Steve was a big crybaby.
It's not true.
He used to cry about things.
That's not
he
true.
cried all the microphone about things.
Nah.
Yeah, so you can still check it out if you go over to our Patreon.
Patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. You get the show a day early.
We also do
Crypto Corner every Tuesday. Also, we do a live stream every month with real cash prizes attached to a poker tournament.
Yeah, you said that weird, but yeah, there's a live stream and there's a poker tournament with cash prizes. A free roll poker tournament.
Correct.
For the Patreon members.
It's $5.
Exclusive.
Come on.
And it helps the show. That's the biggest thing that helps the show.
And it pays Mark, and Mark, it's springtime.
Helps us pay for Mark.
But Mark's air conditioner is stuck to on. So Mark is unfortunately going to be cold. He's going to be very cold. And he's going to be paying a lot for the power bill. So we really need to pay.
Also, we need to get a new camera because this one got broken.
Yeah, so the one on the right got broken.
Steve hasn't had an angle on his face in a while.
I had a memory card get jammed in there pretty good.
Yeah, it won't come out.
So
we're
going to try that.
Anyway, check it out. We hope you like the show.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.